What is up, everyone? James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 17 Backpack Battles. We are back after the 100th episode special. If you have not seen that, there is a link down below that will guide you to that special, and I hope you will watch it because it was a very long episode. But we're back with the Generation 1 team. It's not the most competitive team out there, but it's a pretty fun team. We got Magneton, Kangaskhan, Starmie, Machamp, Arcanine, and Gengar. We're kicking off the start of the battle spot season with this team. Let's go for it. Yeah, I haven't exactly had the best start to season 4 on battle spot currently. I have reset my rating a bunch of times, and I think the main reason is because I keep disconnecting, and I think that's because of my Wi-Fi router, which I will explain in just a second. But it's also the fact I've been pretty unlucky as well, so I've been really dropping games along with the DCs. It really hurts. Liam for the United States of West Virginia, 1535 rating, will be our first opponent. But yeah, basically what happens with my router is 1 month ago I left on a trip, came back and found my router kind of moved, and then like one of the antennas broke off, and then I can't find the antenna. So like my Wi-Fi's been weak ever since. I don't know where that antenna went, but it's just disappeared and I can never find it. So we got the team of Kartana, Metagross, Frostlass, Milotic, Arcanine, and Snorlax. Very interesting. Frostlass is an interesting Pokemon. Our team: Magneton, Kangaskhan, Starmie, the Machamp, Arcanine, and Gengar. So what looks really good to me is my... Alright, what looks good to me is... Actually, a lot of things look good to me. Right here, Magneton can do a lot of work, so can Starmie, Machamp, Gengar, and Arcanine. So it's probably out of those 5 I would pick some Pokemon. I think I want to lead Magneton Starmie because it is probably one of my go-to leads. It's just very fast and has double focus sash. Machamp is very solid, and I think Gengar for that Metagross. Even though I do have Arcanine, there is that Milotic that's kind of threatening. So I think Gengar is the better choice here. Let's see what my opponent will bring. Also, having the Z move is pretty helpful. Hitting that Snorlax, hitting the Milotic. I think it's better than risking a lot of recoil on the Arcanine, but we'll see how this goes. As I do not have an Ice type resist. We're going to see Frostlass and the Arcanine lead, which is interesting, against my Magneton and Starmie. Okay. So now I have to figure out what do I want to do here. My opponent gets an Intimidate off, which doesn't really matter at all against these two Pokemon. I could go for Flash Cannon. It's probably the Focus Sash on Frostlass though. I kind of just want to double up into Arcanine, to be honest, because getting rid of Arcanine seems pretty good because Voltage plus Scald should knock out Arcanine unless it's an Assault Vest set. And yeah, I don't see Frostlass as much of an offensive threat. Of course it does get Shadow Ball, but I don't think that's something I really have to worry about in this situation. If Arcanine goes for Extreme Speed though, that could have been a problem, but I doubt he would go for Extreme Speed on the very first turn. Volt Switch does a decent amount. That's definitely not not Scarf, AV on that Arcanine. Yes, it's Scarf Arcanine. Actually, that has been used before. Gonna go hard into my Machamp because I can't exactly go into my Gengar. Can I? Now, Machamp comes in and we will be able to get Scald off into this Arcanine slot. So, Arcanine should go down to the Scald, which it does. So, Arcanine is no longer a threat. I don't have to worry about Intimidate anymore or a powerful Flare Blitz. An Icy Wind actually coming out from the Frostlass. So pretty interesting move there. Pretty interesting. Yeah. Good play by my opponent. It does break my Sturdy and potential Focus Sash on Starmie, which I do. So let's see what my opponent brings out next. Kartana is probably looking a very scary Pokemon right now. But Metagross is actually going to come in. That's the same thing, I guess. Both pretty scary. He might be threatening a double KO here if he has Shadow Ball. Kind of just want to go Protect with Machamp because I'm probably going to need Machamp because I want to hit the Snorlax otherwise. And I'll go for a Scald into the Frostlass to break a potential Sash. If he doesn't have Shadow Ball, he's forced to go for, I don't know, another Icy Wind, I guess. Does carry Shadow Ball, goes for it into the Machamp slot, maybe anticipating a switch. I don't know, but we do get the Scald off into the Frostlass, which we'll be able to picks up a burn, which is pretty nice. It's actually interesting because we're faster than the Metagross, and we're going to see the Tectonic Rage coming out. So maybe anticipating my Machamp to actually switch out into Arcanine, which is a pretty interesting play. I don't know, maybe doubling into Machamp or going to Starmie. Okay, it goes into Starmie, which I don't mind because I get a free switching to my Magneton, and that's kind of what I want, to be honest, as the Starmie does faint here. And I can go out into my No, I can go into Magneton. And I can Volt Switch out from the Frostlass and just go for a Wide Guard, I think. Yeah, because I don't want him Earthquakey. I'm fine with him going for Zen Headbutt here, but I can't have him going for Earthquake no matter what. We are going to be pretty weak to Snorlax at the end game, though. It looks like that is going to be pretty annoying to deal with. But I think I have to, because I can't exactly save. Well, actually, well, Gengar would have gone down, and I'm not sure if Gengar is a Pokemon I want to risk yet. So I will go for the Volt Switch and a Wide Guard. This prevents Earthquake coming out from my opponent. Which actually, I'm not sure my opponent would have went for it in this situation, but I will go out into the Gengar right here. And Wide Guard to prevent my opponent from going for Earthquake. I doubt you send Headbutt here. Yep, you go for Earthquake. Okay. If he would Zen Headbutt, I think it would be into Machamp slot anyway. So I do call that correctly. So I do have one thing. And if this person does carry, let's see, if it's Snorlax in the back, I have to say Machamp 100%. I can't risk Machamp ever. I wonder. Oh, it's my opponent DCs. Okay. Surprising. I thought that would have been me who DC'd, but maybe my opponent just didn't have a way to stop. If he had Snorlax in the back, he definitely had some chances. It would have been 50-50. I didn't know if Metagross had Protect or not. There would have definitely been some mind games. But we do, I guess, take the first battle, I guess. Not sure if it's really going to count. It was a very, well, it was a very fast-paced game, and we don't even know if I would have won, to be honest, or not. Delia, I don't know how to pronounce that. Sweden, 1500 rating for our, I guess, second opponent. Rating pretty standard. Torkoal, Hariyama, Porygon 2, Oranguru, Snorlax, Mimikyu. Ooh, Okay, that's interesting. I don't exactly have the best answers to Mimikyu, so Mimikyu's going to be a threat. Machamp does look pretty solid here. So does Arcanine, so does Gengar. I think I want to lead Gengar Machamp, actually. Seems pretty solid. I want Kangaskhan definitely in the back, and I think Starmie is pretty solid as well. I want to lead Gengar and try to potentially just sub up quickly, because I think that could really help me in the early parts of the battle. Luckily, my opponent doesn't have a Oranguru, because I think this team doesn't exactly have a good Oranguru counter. But Mimikyu is also pretty problem. I think I should get rid of Inner Focus on Kangaskhan. I don't think anyone goes for Fake Out to Inner Focus Kang anymore. I think I would change to Scrappy. And I think I do have an ability capsule, actually, so I'll probably change that for a next video. Because I don't think Inner Focus has really helped me at all, other than like maybe dodge one Rock Slide flinch. But I think Scrappy would be better, because I've been noticing a lot of Mimikyus that have been annoying for this team to handle. I've faced quite a few. Driplim is also annoying too, because I would like to hit Driplim with a Fake Out. That would be pretty nice. Actually, that really helps with the Driplim Lele matchup. So I will actually put Scrappy. Yeah, definitely putting Scrappy on the Kang. Let's see how this goes. Especially since no one really fakes out Kang anymore. Like, they're kind of afraid to, since Inner Focus is a potential ability. So let's see what my opponent goes. Going to be Machamp and Gengar lead against the Hariyama Mimikyu. Okay. That's interesting. Don't really mind it too much. I don't know what my opponent's going to go for. I don't know if you Fake Out here, actually, but I am going to go for a Dynamic Punch into that Hariyama, and I think I'm going to just sub here, because I want to see if his Mimikyu goes straight for Trick Room, or is it going to be like a Shadow Claw. But I will go for sub here. I think it's very free here. If he goes for Fake Out Shadow Claw, fine by me. He wastes a turn that he doesn't get Trick Room up, and no more Fake Out pressure, and I can potentially pick up the knockout Hariyama the following turn. So not exactly the worst position for me. But yeah, playing around the Snorlax is going to be very hard, especially the Mimikyu has Play Rough. Play Rough is going to be doing quite a bit of damage to Machamp, which is kind of what I'm afraid of here. So I will sub up with Gengar. Doesn't look like we see the fake out, so Dynamic Punch should be... okay, we do see the play rough into Machamp, so my opponent obviously knows the fear of Machamp. Does so much damage, actually. Even though it's Mimikyu, it's doing a lot of damage. We do get the healing with our Figy Berry and get the Dynamic Punch off into this Hariyama, so we get the chance for confusion. If we get it, that would be really nice. But yeah, we put that Hariyama in range where a Sludge Bomb will pick up the knockout. We see a knockoff into that Gengar slot, so I do not mind. As I can pretty much just go out into my Arcanine, I think. I don't want to lose my Machamp at all just yet, so I will go out into my Arcanine. And I think I will just click sub again, because Hariyama also has to hit through confusion. I could stall out another turn with sub. I don't think my opponent doubles up into the Gengar slot. I think my opponent is afraid of Machamp, so this is still pretty decent of a turn. So let's see. Machamp, luckily the Hariyama is confused, which really does help. Don't know if he'll go for like a Shadow Claw knockoff combination to my Gengar, but that would be kind of annoying, I guess. Go out in Arcanine, fire off an Intimidate on both of these Pokemon. But preserving Machamp is the important part, as Hariyama is actually going to withdraw, interesting, into the Mudsdale. Okay. So I don't know if Trick Room is going to be set up here or not, or if it's just going to be another play rough. It might be Trick Room. Yeah, it's Trick Room. Okay. We're going to have to start playing around this. Okay, turn 1. I switch into Kangaskhan and go for a Protector Gengar because I do need Gengar around. Playing around this Trick Room is going to be kind of annoying. I do have to damage the Mimikyu somehow. If I can damage the Mimikyu, we're in pretty good shape to handle this Trick Room. Hariyama's already been weakened. The problem is whenever Torkoal comes in, it does become a massive threat. I also don't know what moveset this Mimikyu is, which could lead to an issue later. So we will go into Kangaskhan here and protect the Gengar to stall out a turn Trick Room and keep our sub up. Don't know if he high horsepowers the Arcanine slot or not, but I do want to avoid a Shadow Claw from Mimikyu. Heavy Slam, I'm going to go out into Gengar, probably doubling in to be honest. Shadow Claw, yeah, okay. So I do call that correctly. I could have got a Flare Blitz off, but I do get the fake out pressure now. I can go into the Mudsdale, and I think I will go for a Sludge Bomb and try to break this Mimikyu's Sash. And then we have to play some more mind games, because this is turn 2 of Trick Room technically already gone. We have 3 more. This turn will be turn number 3. Then we have to worry about turn number 4. Okay, Mudsdale actually reveals Protect. But it's not like I could have touched the Mimikyu anyway other than Rock Tomb, so it doesn't really help me. Fake out into that Mudsdale. Let's see if we see an attack in the Kangaskhan or it's going to knock out my Gengar sub. Gonna go for my sub. So, okay. Sludge Bomb into that Mimikyu slot, which will be able to break that Disguise. Nice. Maybe get a Poison, which would help wear this Mimikyu down. Nope. But Protect means he doesn't have a Assault Vest, which is interesting on that Mudsdale. I do need to weaken that Mimikyu just a bit to put in the Poison Z range, so I will go for the Rock Tomb, and I think I'm going to switch into Arcanine. Get an Intimidate off onto this Mudsdale, and make this Mimikyu -2, so it's not much of a threat to Kangaskhan at all. I have to play very defensively, as well as make sure this Mimikyu is in check. But Destiny Bond, if it is Destiny Bond on Mimikyu, that is very scary. Because then I would have to sack a Pokemon most likely to prevent Trick Room from going up. So I will sack my Gengar if necessary. I do need Machamp around for a few more turns, but this Mudsdale is going to be hard to damage. I brought all physical attackers and 1 Gengar, and most likely I'm going to sack Gengar. So it's going to be the Z move coming out from this Mudsdale. Looks like it's going to be Tectonic Rage, but the question is, who is it targeting? Gengar? Or is it targeting down Kangaskhan? No matter what, it's going to be doing a lot of damage. Okay, it's in the Kangaskhan. That's great. I thought he might target down Gengar, trying to get me through my Protect, but that's good. Oh, geez, that's a lot more damage than I expected. Rock Tomb going to go out into Mimikyu. That's a good amount of damage. That's a good amount of damage. The Shadow Claw going to go off into the Gengar slot, which doesn't do much. Nice. And Trick Room's about to expire. So I will go for... I wish I had Scrappy. This would be a good game to have Scrappy. I guess I'll Rock Tomb the Mimikyu. And just protect my Arcanine, because if Kangaskhan goes down, that's okay by me. I need to get rid of this Mimikyu by all costs. Even if that means sacking my Arcanine, which it's going to be kind of annoying, but I might have to sack my Arcanine here. Of course, Mudsdale could switch out into I should have called the Hariyama switching, actually. I think... Oh, Mimikyu's actually going to switch out. Okay. That's actually good. Snorlax is going to come out. Ooh, I don't mind this. If I can get Hariyama next... I mean... my Machamp next to my Gengar, I'm in a very solid spot. He has sub on the Mudsdale, what? Okay, that's a new one. Get the Rock Tomb off into Snorlax, which doesn't do much. Okay. Why do you have sub? Well, he's -1 behind the sub, so it's not a big deal. I'm going to go for Flare Blitz and break this sub and Circle Throw to Snorlax if he wants to go for a Belly Drum or anything. So I'm in a fine position. I don't care if he goes for high horsepower. I can get my my Machamp in here, start going for Dynamic Punch. Yeah, we should be good for now. I wish we had Scrappy. We could prevent a Trick Room pretty easily if we had the Scrappy. Really needs to change that, because Mimikyu is also threatening for this team, because anytime my opponent gets up Trick Room, it's annoying for this team to handle, since Kangaskhan is my reliant way of getting rid of Trick Rooms. So we will go for the Flare Blitz, and Mudsdale does stay in, so let's see, will this be able... Well, this should break the sub. Let's see what the Snorlax goes for, though, because Snorlax is probably going to be what decides a good turn from a bad turn, potentially. High horsepower, Arcanine voice the attack, and my opponent sets a Belly Drum. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. And that's why we carry Circle Throw, people. That is why we carry Circle Throw. And that high horsepower miss sucks for my opponent. That wouldn't have KO'd the Arcanine at -1, I believe, but it would have done a good amount of damage and brought me to my berry. So Circle Throw, so Snorlax, I don't have to worry about a berry anymore. Let's see what comes in. Gonna be that Mimikyu once again, so I can click Flare Blitz and Rock Tomb into that slot, and that should be able to pick up the knockout, so I do not mind this turn at all. I will gladly go for a KO onto that Mimikyu slot if I ever get the chance. Never let Trick Room be set up again is my motto, and then my Gengar, combined with Machamp, should be able to clean up this game, it looks like. I probably need more damage on the Mudsdale, though, to put it in Shadow Ball range. I don't know how much, though. Depends on this Mudsdale spread. It does look very offensive by how much it did to my Kangaskhan with the -1 Tectonic Rage. So, gotta keep that in mind. I'll go for the Flare Blitz plus Rock Tomb and the Mimikyu. I don't care if Snorlax or Hariyama decides to be sacked here, because that means Mudsdale most likely has to either 1 KO a Pokemon, which would give me a free switch in, so I always rush into Mimikyu, or Mimikyu is going to switch out, and Snorlax is going to come back in, which I do not mind once again. As Flare Blitz... Oh, we said double switch. Okay. Into Hariyama, but Flare Blitz plus Rock Tomb shouldn't knock out this Snorlax. Like, no doubt it shouldn't knock out the Snorlax. Yeah, that's no way it's going to KO. But this is actually good for me. Yeah, because now I still don't let Mimikyu get a free switch in. Hariyama takes a turn of burn, which is very helpful. And... I guess I can go for Facade in the Snorlax and a Protect. Yeah, there's no reason not to, really, because Hariyama already wasted his turn. And his team is already very, very weakened, so I don't know how my opponent's really going to play. I think the best play for my opponent is to switch out Hariyama and Mimikyu. Know your Snorlax is probably going down this turn. And then go out into your Mimikyu, then your Snorlax, and then your Hariyama. No, wait, no. You switch out Hariyama and Mimikyu right here. Have Snorlax go down. Ooh, we are going to see that switch. Ooh, okay. Oh, no, it's Mudsdale. Okay. I would have been very impressed if my opponent made the Mimikyu play. I thought my opponent might have tried to go aggressive there. I don't know how my opponent's really playing. But this should finish off Snorlax. Because there's no Intimidate. Yes. Man, I wish I had returned because it would be like a safer guarantee. But, you know, haven't had really much time to increase happiness. So, Snorlax is down. That's one Pokemon, one big threat out of the way. Let's see what my opponent's going to bring out next. Maybe Hariyama. I could definitely see Hariyama coming back in. But it's actually going to be Mimikyu again. Flare Blitz, Rock Tomb. Always to play in the Mimikyu. Never let that thing get up Trick Room. And Rock Tomb plus Flare Blitz should be able to pick up the knockout. So I will go for that play, no matter what. I don't care. I do not care. I don't care if Mudsdale goes for sub here. I don't care if it goes for Earthquake. I don't care if it picks up another knockout. I don't care because Mimikyu is not a Pokemon that usually carries Protect. And that means that Hariyama, either Mimikyu goes down or Hariyama goes down. But it looks like Mimikyu is going to go down this turn. Rock Tomb will put it below to 50%. As a Flare Blitz will finish off the Mimikyu. So it looks like my opponent went for Trick Room instead of a last ditch attack. Maybe a Destiny Bomb would have helped my opponent. But Mimikyu is going to go down. So Mimikyu will faint. And now if my opponent goes for highest power, it definitely will pick up the knockout onto my Arcanine. Which, yep, targeting down my Arcanine, which will be going down. Perfect. And I can go out into my Gengar here. No reason not to go into Gengar, as Hariyama will be coming out on the field. And look at that. Hariyama has taken already a lot of chip damage. Wow, this is a really long game. As I will go for the Facade into that Hariyama and try to pick up a knockout with the burn turns. And I will just protect Gengar because there's no reason to risk anything. There is no reason to risk anything right now. I don't care if Mudsdale goes for sub here. That's 25% of his health being taken away, so I do not mind that at all. And Mudsdale shouldn't be having a way to one-hit KO my Machamp, so I do not care. I will just protect. I don't care if he goes for Fake Out. Well, he goes for Fake Out, and this is the one-time Inner Focus will actually matter because we are immune. We get a return off. Maybe my opponent's been trying to avoid the Circle Throw play. And High Horsepower will go out. Target on the Kangaskhan slot, but that is fine because now I get my Machamp in. And I get a free sub up with my Gengar. As we go Machamp here. And we will go for the Dynamic Punch into the Hariyama and a sub with my Gengar. Or I could Dynamic Punch the Mudsdale. I don't really like... No, I don't like that play. Yeah, I'd rather go for Dynamic Punch and sub. The reason why I want to make this play is because, one, if Hariyama has Protect. Because I was thinking maybe if he has Protect, he could maybe get back in this game. But I don't think Protect would really matter too much at this point of the game. Because, yeah, Machamp would still outspeed in. Mudsdale can't knock out the Machamp in one attack. And if he hits through Confusion and gets the higher power and knocks out my Gengar, if I went for the Acid Downpour into that Hariyama, that means I'd be relying on Machamp versus the Mudsdale. He could crit me, even though, and the defense boost from Stamina would allow him to live, so that's why I do not want to go for that. I will go for Dynamic Punch into the Mudsdale, and I'm going to protect here because I don't want to give him an extra defense boost just yet. Because Stamina will give him a defense boost when hit. I'd rather get this full power Dynamic Punch off while I can. So go for that Dynamic Punch, and this should do a... Oh, wow. That did more than I expected. Oh, it's a crit, that's right. Okay. But it was definitely in Shadow Ball range at that point. Stamina is going to activate, get that defense boost. As you are confused, buddy. Do you hit yourself? Nope. Go for the highest power, and you do target down to Machamp smartly. Good play. And yeah, Machamp wouldn't have gone down to 1 high horsepower, and that would be game. No point to draw this out. I'll just go for the Sludge Bomb. Not reveal that I have Shadow Ball. And the match is going to be forfeited. And that would be a good game to my opponent. I think that was a very solid game. Just not letting my opponent get Trick Room up. But I think my opponent did have some opportunities to get up Trick Room if my opponent made the right switches. So, yeah. Very interesting game though. I do like somewhat of how I played it. Somewhat I didn't exactly like. Because I got my opponent some free switchings like that Mudsdale early on. And my opponent could have definitely easily set up Trick Room again and just swept my team if played correctly. So, with Trick Room teams, you really have to prioritize on getting those KOs early, and then getting the Trick Room, and then make sure if you can pick up those KOs early, you have a way to stop Trick Room again, or you're just gonna get yeah. Otherwise, you're gonna get swept in the end game. As we find a 1699 rated player from Japan as our final opponent of the day, bringing the team of very standard Tapu Fini, Togedemaru, Porygon 2. Gigalith, Arcanine, and Kartana, a very popular team. Was it like fake PG or something like that, where it's like Arcanine, Fini, it's like Arcanine, Fini, Kartana, Electric type, Porygon 2, Gigalith. So, what should I lead? Now, my Arcanine does do pretty well, Machamp does pretty well. I'm not sure my opponent's going to bring like a Trick Room mode. But I do like Machamp here. Machamp's very Gengar and Machamp are very solid against my opponent's team. Yeah, they're very solid. I don't need Magneton. Kangaskhan could help. Don't think it's necessary though, so I think I'll lead Gengar Machamp since it's very solid against my opponent's team. Have Arcanine and Starmie in the back. Because the only thing that really hard threatens the Machamp from turn 1 is that Tapu Fini, and I do carry the Acid Downpour to try and pick up the knockout onto that Tapu Fini. So let's see if this is going to work. I have some matchup experience with this, but I'm actually trying a different lead. I actually normally lead Kangaskhan Gengar and try to get a free sub up if possible. But I don't want to do that in case the Porygon 2 leads, so let's see. Gengar plus Machamp. And it's Arcanine, Tapu Fini. Okay, that's pretty good for me. That's pretty good for me. I should just let Kangaskhan Gengar again. I definitely need my Machamp. It's very valuable in this matchup. I just don't know if I want to risk my Starmie on a Moonblast. Well, on these teams, they're usually actually... They tend to be Specs Fini, so you know what, I'm actually going to risk it turn 1 and go for the Acid Downpour, and I'm actually going to switch into my Arcanine in case I can survive that. It's Flare Blitz, because I don't know if I can. But I guess I'll risk it turn 1. They tend to be Specs Fini on these teams, so I will go for it, even though it's very risky turn 1, especially if he switches into one of his Steel types. Although I'm not sure if he would switch into Steel type when Machamp's on the field. He definitely could, because I don't think anyone would expect me to Dynamic Punch that turn. But Arcanine's also safe switching, because it would threaten one of the Steel types he has. But looks like Fini is not switching, so Machamp will switch out and go on to Arcanine. We do get Intimidate off onto his Arcanine, so can we live with Flare Blitz? I have no idea, to be completely honest. I think it depends on what kind of Arcanine this is, if it's offensive or if it's a bulky variant. And nice, no Protect on Fini, so we get rid of the biggest threat to my Machamp. Turn 1. Excellent, excellent. And now many people expect this, so I will go for it. I'm pretty sure he had Specs Moonblast and was trying to get rid of Machamp, because Machamp is a very huge threat to his team. So we will go for the Acid Downpour, and this will definitely be able to pick up the knockout. Fini, a stab Acid Downpour from Gengar. Clean. Well, it's not clean, it's actually poison, dirty, hazard material. Flare Blitz is going to go off and target down my Gengar slot. Can we live? That's the question. We actually do survive. So I do make the right call no matter what. Okay, so Flare Blitz is disabled, which is actually pretty good because that's usually Arcanine's only offensive option other than like extreme speed. So it looks like it can't really touch my Gengar here, but the problem is okay, Gigalith is gonna come out, okay. I don't know what I want to do, but I don't want to risk Arcanine because Arcanine with Intimidate is helpful, especially against a Kartana. I will just Sludge Bomb the Arcanine here, and I think I will go out into my Machamp. Yeah, I think that's fine. Machamp should be pretty good here, as we're going to see the Arcanine withdraw. This is our Kartana. No, this is Porygon 2. Okay, I did make a fine play then. Just can't let him get Trick Room up, and we are good. So Porygon 2's attack is going to rise. We are going to withdraw our Arcanine, preserve that Intimidate, go into Machamp to take a Rock Slide. Most likely that's coming out from my opponent. As I will get some chip damage, some nice chip damage onto that Porygon 2. Very nice. And the Rock Slide will come out, but not do too much to my Pokemon. So Cursed Body's going to activate, so my opponent's Rock Slide is disabled. Cursed Body actually coming in. But, yeah, it shouldn't really have much effect on this game. Actually, that Porygon 2 is faster than my Machamp. That's good to know. I will go into Starmie here, though. And I think I'm going to click Scald into that Gigalith slot, as well as I Dynamic Punch into that Porygon 2. Maybe I should just double into Porygon 2 with Scald plus Dynamic Punch, because I'm pretty sure we would pick up the knockout. I was thinking of Scalding the Gigalith because Arcanine might just switch in for the Intimidate to help Porygon 2 survive, but I'm not sure if Porygon 2 can survive the Scald plus that Dynamic Punch at the range it's at, even if it's -1 Dynamic Punch. I mean, this is still Machamp. It's a very powerful Pokemon. He does not know that I'm not max attack investment, so just keep hush-hush about that. And we're going to see Porygon 2 withdraw, which is kind of another reason why I went for the slot, because he might have tried to do this to live the double up. But getting rid of Arcanine means my Machamp is probably going to put in the most work it can in this game, which is great. We will go for the Scald, and it will target down that Arcanine slot. But the problem is we're probably going to lose the Starmie. Yep, and yeah, it looks like AV Arcanine. We do get rid of the Arcanine, so Arcanine does go down. We are at -1, however, and we are going to see the Continental Crush onto my, what appears to be, probably, I would assume it would be the Starmie. It would be pretty dumb if it went into Machamp, because, yes, they're getting as much damage as it can, except I don't think that damage is really going to matter. Let's see. It is going to be to my Starmie. That's going to bring it down to the Focus Sash, but I don't mind Starmie going down. Unfortunately, that means I can't switch out Machamp and reset the Intimidate. However, I will get a free switch into my Arcanine and get Intimidate off onto this Gigalith. So this Gigalith really shouldn't be able to touch my Machamp. And a Flare Blitz plus Dynamic Punch should be able to finish off the Porygon 2. And I still have my Figy Berry intact with Machamp. The Porygon 2 cannot freeze my Machamp, which is the best part about the Misty Terrain. It's working in my favor. Even though I can't confuse, it's still better than him freezing me for the game. So Arcanine will come out, Porygon 2 will come out. I don't know if he will go for Recover here. I could definitely see that play, or if it will just go for damage. But I'll just double attack the Porygon 2 regardless with a Flare Blitz plus Dynamic Punch combination. It seems like my best play. Gonna get the download boost, which is Attack Rise, so I guess Return would hurt. Actually, no, he's at neutral now, so it's not really that big of a deal. Just go for the double attack into Porygon 2. Very safe play. Flare Blitz should do at least 30%. So let's see, Flare Blitz into that Porygon 2. Yeah, about 30. And let's see if he goes for Recover again. Yeah, he's going to go for Recover, which is a smart play. Not going to lie, because he's going to try to get as much damage onto the Arcanine as possible. As we will go for Dynamic Punch. But yeah, I think we're doing too much damage to where that Porygon 2 can actually matter. Stone is going to come out -1. We should survive. Yep. And the Misty Terrain might just be over. And yeah, this Gigalith doesn't look like it has a way to actually touch my Machamp. So I think we're all in the okay zone. As Misty Terrain, I believe, has one more turn on the battlefield. Yes. So I think I'm actually going to Protect here, and since he's probably going to go for Recover again, I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to try to weaken this Gigalith and put it in range of 2 Dynamic Punches while saving my Arcanine. Let's see, yeah, he goes for Recover, and I feel like it's pointless just to target down the Porygon 2 until I make sure that he's forced, when he goes for Recover, I'm taking no damage. So Dynamic Punch into that Gigalith. It's a 2-hit KO, it looks like. A Stone Edge will target down my Arcanine slot once again, and alright. Time to target down this Porygon 2. Unfortunately, the Misty Terrain going down means he can freeze me potentially for the win, but otherwise we should be good. His move is no longer disabled, which, you know, could have been a factor. But I'm going to go for Flare Blitz and Dynamic Punch into Porygon 2. I don't know if he recovers or attacks here. If he attacks, I should be able to pick him up with the Flare Blitz plus Dynamic Punch combination. If he goes for Trick Room, I should be able to get him. And also a Confusion chance could happen, so we'll see. Yeah, he goes for the Ice Beam. That's perfect. As long as don't freeze me, don't freeze it. Okay, thank you. Dynamic Punch should finish the job. Or not. But we do get the confusion, so we'll see how long this Porygon 2 has. As Stone Edge is going to come out onto the Arcanine once again, not going for the Rock Slide. I guess not risking a potential roll. Gets a crit, does not matter. As now it's basically Porygon 2 versus Gigalith and Machamp. And since this Gigalith, well, this Gigalith has like an attack, I'm going to go for Dynamic Punch into that Gigalith slot. The reason why I'm going to go for the Gigalith slot is because, one, I don't want him setting up Curse potentially, because Curse would allow him to live another one. Another Dynamic Punch, so I'm going to try to get rid of the Gigalith right here, and one Porygon 2 can hit itself in confusion. Or just go for Ice Beam, but if he goes for Ice Beam, I'm perfectly okay. Let's see. Still a very close game. Alright, Porygon 2, do you hit yourself? No, you go for the Recover. And yeah, that's exactly why. Because Recover would stall some turns out, which I don't want happening right off the bat. So I will go for a Dynamic Punch and finish off this Gigalith. So now it's a 1v2 versus Porygon 2 and my Machamp. And I do have the Confusion luck on my side with Dynamic Punches. So I'll wait till he's unconfused. And I think I'm going to go for Poison Jab. Poisons. And try to get some residual chip damage with the Poison Jab, because that would help me alongside potential him hitting himself plus the Dynamic Punch since we're at -1. So let's see. He's still confused. I don't care if he goes for Ice Beam. He goes for Ice Beam this turn, but I do have my Figy Berry, so I'll be able to heal back. No freeze, thank you. And we get this Figy Berry, and we're going to heal back. Ah, beautiful HP. And Poison Jab. Can we get the poison? Machamp, can you get the poison? Or maybe he feels like I'm out. Maybe he feels like I'm out of Dynamic Punches. But I'm going to go for Poison Jab because I feel like Recover is my opponent's best play here. And yeah, he snaps out. Goes for Recover, like he should. Gonna try to get this poison off. And then once we get the poison, I will go for Dynamic Punches and play the odds. So Poison Jab. No poison. I think I'll go for Dynamic Punch here. I think I'll go for it. Ice Beam gonna come out. Of course, he still has a chance to crit and freeze me. So, but I do have the same chance to crit him. So, Dynamic Punch into that Porygon 2. It's so close. I think I'm gonna go for Poison Jab, just to get the poison in case he does break through and gets a Recover off. Because I think he would go for Recover here. Yeah, he goes for Recover, which is why I don't want to waste Dynamic Punches when I don't have to just yet. Because Confusion is going to help me pull through this, so I will go for Poison Jab. I really hope we do get this 20% poison soon. Doesn't look like we're getting it this turn. I will go for it this turn. Are we going to lose this 1v2? Of course. Why am I not lucky with this Dynamic Punch Confusions? Alright, Ice Beam looks like it's a roll next turn, so Machamp, I need you to really pull through. Gets the poison. That's exactly what I need. But I need one. It looks like I'm going to need one turn of Confusion. Or a crit. Of course, he can crit or freeze me, so he still has good odds. So, let's see. Machamp, can you pull through? Ice Beam going to come out onto Machamp. Crit. And that's the game. I'm pretty sure the crit mattered. Well, actually, it might have been a roll. I think it was a roll, but that's good game to my opponent. I feel like we had that, to be honest. That's kind of disappointing. But I hope that everyone did enjoy today's episode of VGC 17 Back-to-Back Battles. A pretty long episode coming back. It's like 39 minutes. I hope that everyone did enjoy, though. That last battle. I feel like I could have played better. Maybe if I... It's just Dynamic Punch. It's not exactly... if it had more PP. If it had more PP. Because I would have just kept clicking Dynamic Punch over and over, but I didn't want to waste Dynamic Punches if he kept breaking through Confusion. And that's insane, though. He broke through so many Confusions. I never got him to hit himself once, but that's the game we play. Hope everyone enjoyed. You can check out the social medias down below. Previous episodes of VGC 17 Back-to-Back Battles. The placement of the team, of course, down below. I am resuming side series on the channel. I am streaming more often, so follow me, my YouTube channel and my Twitch channel for more content. Otherwise, yeah, I'll see you around in another video.